That's Sutton. I'm Simply. And this is a Victory Monday edition of the Purple Rain Podcast. Welcome back to episode 197 of the Purple Rain Podcast, a Victory Monday edition. Yes, Victory Monday. 197, the Kelly Gregg episode, Timmy Jernigan, Arthur Jones, might want to check on his brother Chandler Jones, Michael Pierce, and Brent Urban edition of the Purple Rain Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Follow this guy on Instagram, on Twitter, at SuttonDef. Follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on Twitter at simplyas10. And most importantly, our sponsor, Manscaped. If you can go and get something nice, it is October. We're 1 month away from Thanksgiving, which, from November, which means, Christmas time, holiday time. You want to get those Christmas, Hanukkah gifts early, Manscaped. Go on there, use code PRP for 20% off your order and free shipping. But first and foremost, I have to ask you, how was your weekend, Sutton?
My weekend was lovely, to say the absolute least. Capped it off with a victory on Sunday, man, and that one felt really good to get that one, and it honestly makes the loss last week even that much more frustrating because, damn, we should be 4-0 right now. But I'm gonna be thankful. 3-1, top of the AFC North, sole ownership of the top of the AFC North. So, I can't complain. But how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I had a very eventful weekend. Didn't get a lot of sleep, but you can best believe that I watched the Ravens kick some Browns' ass. A great weekend overall. Really cannot complain. I'm just happy that we're here and we're going to talk about this lovely game known as American football. And as Modi is starting off early.
Yes.
Long time no see. How are you doing? I finally catch a live stream live. McChickens, thank you for the continued support. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to talk Ravens ball. We're 3-1, top of the North. Only AFC North team to win yesterday. Only AFC North team to score a touchdown yesterday. Can we talk about it?
Hold up. I didn't even see it like that, Alex. I didn't even see it. Hold on. I gotta pop me a drink for that one. Look, y'all listen to this. Gotta pop for that
ASMR on the PRP channel. Yeah, only team to score a touchdown in the AFC North. Like you said, we should be 4-0, but hey, we're 2-0 in the division. We play the Steelers next week. I'm happy. I'm
Look,
living.
man,
feet kicked back.
We're in a great spot. I mean, the more you talk about it, the more it's hyping me up. So I'm difficulties. Let me see. Am I back? Are we back?
You're good.
Okay, I think we're back.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Let's see who we have here in the live chat. Yolanda B in the house says, "Good evening, Rain Gang." Good evening, Yolanda. Thank you for coming through. Death to Beta in the house is future AFC North champions. Thank you for coming through, Death to Beta. Long time no see.
Your shot.
Let me see. Mod Boz in the house. The Steelers fan himself says, "I know the Steelers finna get their ankles knocked loose this week." Yeah, I mean, a lot of Steelers fans not very optimistic looking ahead to that Ravens game this Sunday coming up. Let's go ahead and continue to see who we got here in the chat. Tanja Bowman says, "What's up, Rain Gang and the flock?" We got Lisa Ann in the house as well. How you ladies doing? Appreciate you guys for coming through. How sweet is 3-1 in first place? Tastes real good. It sure does. For sure. All right. So, see my guy Darius the official. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the Purple Rain pioneer himself, Darius, up here. We appreciate you for coming through. Listen, if you guys are not watching this episode of the Purple Rain podcast live, that is okay. If you are part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. As a matter of fact, everybody, just take a moment, hit the like button. We're going to do 5 seconds of silence for you guys to hit the like. Ready? Go. Okay, hopefully you've hit the like button by now. If you have, thank you. And if you have not, please consider it. I mean, it doesn't hurt you, helps us out a ton. Just think about it. For
the kids.
All right. For the kids.
They got to eat. Kids got to eat. You know what they had last week? They shared a tomato.
Sharing tomatoes. Listen, we're off to a good start today. I mean, JD Killswitch making sure that the kids
Oh,
eat, dropping the 5-piece in the chat, man, making it rain here on episode 197 of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you so much, JD. We appreciate that. It says
thank you.
Victory Monday, leaders of the North. I love the optimism today, man. I just love it. This is great. This is awesome.
Feels good. Feels amazing.
It feels great, man. Let's go ahead and get into some ball talk, shall we?
Let's do it.
So we have of course, as you guys know, the Purple Rain Report brought to you by Manscaped. Make sure you go on manscaped.com, get any of their lovely products, and save yourself some money. With our code PRP, you're going to get 20% off plus free international shipping, like Alex led the show with. But yes, the Purple Rain Report. It's time to get into the stats from yesterday's game. So if you take your glasses, dust them off, and look here, you can see what we've got going on in yesterday's game. Now, just kind of looking at these numbers at a glance, rushing the ball yesterday, I mean, the Ravens didn't do too much running the ball. I mean, Gus Edwards was the leading rusher, 15 carries for 48 yards. That's only 3.2 yards a carry. Lamar Jackson had 9 carries for 27 yards. Justice Hill had 3 carries for 33 yards. That guy's been looking good recently. I mean, so glad to have him back for sure. But rushing yards we didn't really pop off in that department. Receiving yards didn't really pop off there either. This game was more so about, it was a classic AFC North game, right? I know it was a blowout, but it was more so about defense and like, hey, can we stop the thing? Can we stifle the thing that you are the best at? And they were the best at defense coming into this week. We talked about it on a preview episode, and we just absolutely just made them look like Bush League, honestly. Pushing them around, didn't allow a touchdown all game. I know that's not talking about the defense necessarily, but this is an overall great showing. Looking at these numbers, Alex, and the rest of the rain game, because I'm asking all you guys, I'm asking everybody. What do you take from these numbers? Like, what do we really learn about this game based off of these stats that we see in front of us right now?
Well, I see we have Darren Elliott, who is a Rams fan, in the chat saying Lamar is his fantasy quarterback, and he just saying that we're such an injured ball club and we're dangerous as is. So we appreciate you for watching Ravens stream. Much love. Thank you. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Rams. I am a Rams fan for them beating the Bengals in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So we're your enemy is my enemy, or the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I guess. Thank you for coming through. But talking about yesterday, man, like Mike McDonald, I am scared we're gonna lose him after this season. You got to look at him. He's like, the way this defense is playing without Marlon Humphrey, without Marcus Williams, without honestly a lockdown defensive back. I mean, Brandon Stevens has showed up this year, which I'm glad he got his pick finally. Without an actual edge rusher, a proven guy. I mean, Kyle Van Noy did bitch yesterday. Jadeveon Clowney, he's been, going crazy, but it's not like we have a Bosa brother. No TJ Watt, no Myles Garrett, and we're still, producing pressure. We were getting sacks. So I'm loving it. And I'm just going to talk about our linebackers real quick. Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. We say it every single week.
Yeah.
They talk the talk and they walk the walk. They walk it like they talk it. All right? It's really that simple. Every week, it's either one's playing all the way up here and the one's right behind them, or they're both right up there. Yesterday, they were neck and neck. I don't know who had the better game, honestly. Maybe Roquan because he had 2 passes deflected. Then PQ had the sack. I was flying around. I don't know, man. But
let's talk about that sack really quick from Patrick Queen, man. I mean, burst through the offensive line, and he didn't get to the quarterback clean. He had to go through a guy. Through a guy to get to the quarterback clean. He went through that guy like literally cut through him like butter. Like it was just nothing to him. And you love to see Patrick Queen playing with not only that speed, so that lightning that we knew that he had coming out of LSU, but also that thunder. You know what I mean? Like we see the culmination of both now. I feel like Roquan Smith is kind of rubbing off on him, which is really good for us. Love Patrick Queen. Also, if I'm not mistaken, Patrick Queen got a little shout out from the King. If I'm not mistaken, from the King, and by the King I mean LeBron James. Yes, that is a friend of the show, Patrick Queen, getting a shout out from the one and only LeBron James yesterday on social media. That was pretty cool to see. Not gonna lie.
I mean, that's crazy. For him, we're around the same age. So growing up watching LeBron James shout you out, imagine that. That's insanity. So big shout out to him. Shout out to the defense, and shout out to you, Cam, for coming through. He actually said he is happy to be listening to good streams as he drives back from reunion. Hope you had a great family reunion. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's Victory Monday, and we're talking about the defense right now. But you brought up Justice Hill, averaging 11 yards a carry. I know he was working his way back from that toe injury or foot injury, but this guy is a running back, and he's a damn back. he made his name on special teams, but when you give him the ball, he's going to make a play. And then another guy I want to kind of shout out is Melvin Gordon, because that one run he broke off and the one catch he had over JOK,
Yeah.
more than I expected he would do all season. Like, we're just reviewing his career right now.
Yeah, it was just one of those games where kind of like everybody got a little piece of the pie. You know, everybody did something good for the most part. You know, I can talk about like all the guys on offense. I mean, Lamar Jackson obviously with the 4 touchdowns, Mark Andrews with the 2 touchdowns, Zay Flowers with a couple chain moving plays, especially that one on the scramble drill where he goes out deep and he catches that ball along the boundary. Lots of guys, man. I mean, Justice Hill, like you said, 3 carries for 33 yards. Gus Edwards did his job. Just an overall great showing by the offense, especially going up against this, what was supposed to be a vaunted Cleveland Browns defense. And I thought, of course, if you saw the Thursday episode, I picked the Ravens to lose. Alex picked the Ravens to win, so he was right on this one. Now let's talk about the other side. So we talked about some of the stats from the Ravens offensive players. Now let's take a look at the Browns. Now, obviously, the biggest story heading into this game, like literally 10 minutes before the game started, was that Deshaun Watson would not play. We talked about it on our health report on the Thursday's episode. He was having issues with his throwing shoulder, and that is never good. That's never good. It's basically his bread and butter, his prized possession. That's what they use him for, that right arm. So he wasn't able to go. So we got Dorian Thompson-Robinson in his stead, and DTR did not really do too much at all. We're talking 121 yards passing. Was at 36 pass attempts, 19 for 36, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. A true welcome to the NFL moment for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And you kind of got a feel for the guy too. I mean, because it's just like gets thrown in there literally 10 minutes before, was not expecting to play football on Sunday. I'm sure maybe somebody, the quarterback's coach, was in his ear like, hey, be ready just in case, because Deshaun was dealing with what he was dealing with. But I don't think that he expected, just like any of us expected, for him to start yesterday. And he did. And yeah, he got humbled, that's for sure. But looking over at the Browns numbers, so passing numbers from DTR, rushing numbers, and then receiving numbers as well. Alex, what did you take from their offensive performance, the Browns?
David Njoku only shows up against the Ravens and the Steelers. That's a takeaway. Like, he only plays good against us, it feels like. Any other time you see him, he's going to have like 1 catch for 7 yards. But their running game, Pierre Strong averaged 9.8. They're missing Nick Chubb, obviously. We've been through that pain before. But receiving wise, we locked down Amari Cooper to 1 catch for 16 yards.
Yes.
Like, that is a number 1 receiver that we locked down without one Marlon Humphrey.
Right.
Like, I really can't give enough credit to what the secondary is doing right now. I know it's going to say backup quarterback. We're going to, play some dogs next week that Pittsburgh has. Pickens, A-Rob. But they'll be down a quarterback. We'll get more of that. Yeah. But, I mean, you lock down a guy like Amari Cooper to 1 catch for 16 yards. You're doing a pretty damn good job. And then Elijah Moore was running the wrong way half the game. It was just the Browns being the Browns. And I hate to say that, but that's really how it is. The Browns are going to brown, and they browned last night.
They did indeed. Got a couple people in the chat I want to bring up here. We got Mod Cal, that is, says, it's been a while since I could watch live, but came by to drop in on my break to say, see that I hope everyone is having fun watching the Ravens demolish us this Sunday. As you guys know, Cal is indeed a Steelers fan, just like Mod Boz. We got hella Steelers fans as our mods. I think that's the funniest thing. That's the funniest thing ever. So ironic.
It's not going to be a blow. It's going to be a Ravens Steelers close game, like it always is.
Yeah, I would say the same too. I mean, I'm thinking maybe 7-point game or less, to be honest with you. To be honest, 100%. Even without Pickett. But thank you for coming through, Cal. We appreciate you. I see we got my guy Hemo4. What's going on, Hemo? Appreciate you for coming through. Says Lamar is the most accurate quarterback right now. I mean, what do the stats show? I think that might be low-key kind of true.
I mean, we could talk about some Lamar stats. I can pull them up. I know it was on Twitter yesterday. People were bringing up his stats, but he's put up some pretty damn good stats. He has completed 74.3% of his passes this year, a 104.2 quarterback rating, and the Ravens have scored a touchdown on 80% of their red zone trips. What was our issue last year with this offense?
Not scoring in the red zone.
Bingo. This time 4 out of 5 times.
That is damn. That's winning football right there. There's no better way to put it, Alex. That's winning football. I mean, if you can score the football in the red zone, and it seems like the Ravens know what to do. They play with a little bit more intention in the red zone than they did in years past. I like to see the decisiveness of those Lamar runs when we get within the 10. That worked twice yesterday, or I think we were within the 15 on the first one. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I have a really cool stat for you. The
Okay.
most accurate quarterback on throws 10 plus yards downfield per PFF. Who's number one? The running back. Yeah.
Man.
67.9% of his throws are charted as accurate, 10 plus yards.
Yeah. And I also think it's partially his throwing style too, his throwing motion. Like, he darts the ball at guys. Like, there's like when he's throwing the ball within, like, I don't know what, 15 to 20 yards, like, those are darts. He's putting it right on guys as, like, numbers. Like, honestly, like, most guys have a trajectory on the ball. You got to go up outside of your frame and get it, reach out and get it. Like, Lamar's putting it right on guys' chests. So I think that has to do, a big reason why he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the league right now. And plus, he's getting the ball out a lot quicker. And that, that's a indictment on Todd Monken. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job at, drawing up plays for Lamar Jackson to get the ball out quick to maximize his skill set. So just overall, this offense looks good. But Alex, tell me why it doesn't look great yet.
There was some, I think at the beginning of the game, I think we were respecting their defense too much. And you can correct me if I'm wrong or if you want to, bounce back. But I felt like we kind of were playing scared, and like there was a third and 7 or 3rd and 8. We ran some really BS screenplay, got blown up. It didn't look like a Ravens offense. I was like, okay, well, let's see what the Browns defense is about. And even we went in with 21 points, and I was like, I want to put up over 30. And then the third quarter, we kind of were flat, weren't really, doing that much. And then we obviously scored the touchdown in the fourth quarter. But I wanted to see more. Maybe I was, getting greedy, but I really wanted us to put up 30 points yesterday. Kind of,
yeah,
dare I say, just to get off our back, I guess, to show this offense can score. But
yeah,
I felt like we went conservative.
We did. It feels like the Ravens are capped out at 28 points. Like, we can't get to 30. Like, but we're gonna need to get to 30. And I'll say this: these matchups early in the season, and these wins that we're getting, they are good wins. I can concede that, but I can also tell you that, based off of what I know about football, especially playoff football, there's gonna come a time where we're going to have to put up points at a higher clip than what we are right now. It's just gonna happen when we go up against teams like the Bills and the Chargers of the world and the Chiefs, even though they don't have it all together on offense yet. We're gonna need to score 30. Simple as that. Because guess what? They're scoring 30. They're probably scoring 30 on us. I'm not gonna lie. Our defense is really good, but there's some teams that you just can't hold down forever. And there's a lot of offensive firepower teams in the AFC like that. So yeah, we're gonna have to get it together. And I think a large part of that has to do with getting some guys back healthy again. I was so glad that we got out of this game relatively healthy. Just knowing that going into next week against the Steelers, we may be getting a Rashad Bateman back. We may be getting an Odell back. Things like that. And I heard that Stanley, Marlon Humphrey is going to be practicing, that sort of thing. He's getting close. But yeah, just talking about the offense, though. Just getting back to the offense. Looks good, not great. I mentioned in my YouTube short yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you go and check that out too. Zay Flowers. It feels like this offense is not complete. It hasn't really burst onto the scene until we get a big Zay Flowers touchdown or two. We still have not got a Zay Flowers touchdown yet. Be honest with you, we haven't gotten a Zay Flowers touchdown, a Rashad Bateman touchdown, or an Odell Beckham Jr. touchdown. And that was supposed to be our holy trinity of wide receivers this season, and we have not gotten a touchdown out of any of those guys. And yet here we are, still 3-1. Aguilar, he's got one. Almost had two. Oh,
what
I saw the video you posted yesterday. Yeah, great pass, great throw. Let's talk about the touchdown. So we're talking about how offense is good, not great. Offense is good, not great. We know this, right? I think that the offense will definitely progress as the season goes on. But let's talk about Lamar Jackson's touchdowns yesterday, specifically those 2 passing touchdowns. I know we want to talk about the first one to Mark Andrews. What was going through your head when you saw that play? Break it down for me.
I didn't know what he was like. He just threw it up, and I see there's two guys around there, actually three, honestly, but two close to Mark Andrews, and my mouth, my jaw, wide open. I was like, "There's no way that just happened," but it happened. That's what happens when you get a top 2, top 3 tight end involved in your game, like a Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews right there, 5 catches, 80 yards. He was cooking. That one throw Lamar made, like cross body, Andrews catches it, makes a defender miss, goes upfield for 30 yards. That is the Mark Andrews that we know and love. Where was that the first 3 games? I don't know. I really don't care because he's back. Mandrews is back. The Lamar x Mandrews duo is back. It's the second best quarterback tight end duo in the league behind Mahomes and Kelsey. Really not going to debate that. But man, when Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson are on, it's a scary sight for defenses.
It really is. It really is. And did Mark Andrews score a touchdown against the Colts? I can't remember.
No.
No touchdown.
Lamar ran him in.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, touchdowns in 2 out of the 3 games he started in this year so far. Love to see that. 2 touchdowns yesterday was just awesome. And I think as well, once we get Bateman and Odell Beckham Jr. back, it's going to make Mark Andrews even more dangerous. Now it's just like they can't stop him because he's just that good. Like you saw, there was damn near 3 guys over there, damn near triple coverage. He was able to go up over, mainly the other 2 guys and go up and get that football and come down with it inbounds. Just first of all, let's just talk about the type of trust that it takes from your quarterback to kind of put the ball right there and just trust your guy to come down with it. I mean, man, that ball barely got over the fingertips of the DB on that play and right into Mark Andrews' arm. So sometimes you see Lamar Jackson make these crazy throws where it's just like, I don't honestly see how anyone could ever say this man cannot throw a football.
That was a tweet I put out. I was like, between the Melvin Gordon pass, that was a perfectly placed pass. That was, and the Nelson Aguilar one was even better. And K-Dog, we talk. This has been like a talking point since PRP started. The 1 p.m. CBS Mark Andrews is the best tight end to ever play the game. You have 1 p.m. CBS Andrews. You probably have like 425 CBS Rob Gronkowski because he was different in those later window games. You have Sunday Night Football, Kelsey. But when you have 1 p.m. Andrews, different gravy. Different. Oh yeah. Goodness.
Yeah, man. Mark Andrews, we are blessed to have him for a tight end. I can definitely say that for sure. Just some of that backyard football. I mean, you see it all the time on scramble drills, plays where, the play breaks down. Andrews just kind of finds himself open and Lamar Jackson finds him. That's that backyard football, man. I mean, we're going to see that more and more all season for sure. But would love to see more guys get involved. Like I want to see a game where we get a Zay Flowers touchdown and a Mark Andrews touchdown in the same game. That is when we will know for sure that the offense has arrived and that the rest of the league should be on notice. You know what I mean? They are already on notice for guys like Zay Flowers, but it's going to take a couple more big plays, some touchdowns. You know what I mean? I feel like this offense is not there until we get Zay Flowers fully caught up to speed.
Well, one thing is that we have 60 people watching and 42 likes.
Yes.
Thank you. Our goal is 50. The kids got to eat. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. K-Dog says here, I truly love my PRP family. Our hosts need to set up a PRP family meeting. That would be amazing to put faces to the names. That would be a good idea, K-Dog.
That'd be something.
That'd be a good idea, K-Dog. We got some cool stuff, on the horizon for you guys. Episode 200 is well on the way. As you guys know, only 3 episodes away. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Big announcements coming up. And they will be on our Instagram. So in case you don't follow us on Instagram, you can go on IG. Follow us at the Purple Rain Podcast for all updates on episode 200, which is right around the corner again. So make sure you stay tuned. Okay. Let's get into a couple other pieces of this game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was going to bring up
Go ahead.
A safety for us that has gotten some playing time and got another interception yesterday.
Yeah, Gino.
Yeah, I mean, he's out there putting up Marcus Williams numbers. 2 picks in 4 games.
2 picks in 4 games. You're right. I mean, again, like you said, this secondary, and furthermore, Mike McDonald, they've done a great job at doing less with more, especially doing more with less. I'm sorry. especially so early in the season. Like it's normally not until like second half of the season, post the bye week where we're really struggling to find guys to play, to put in at DB. But right now, I mean, we're down Marcus Williams, we're down a Marlon Humphrey, and you see guys, the next man up, actually stepping up. You know what I mean? Brandon Stevens having a huge play yesterday. That run back was everything. The interception is one thing, but the run back, him to get up and really understand and take the right angles and follow his blocks. I don't think there was any way he could have actually scored on that play, but he did everything he needed to do to get as far as he could. And I love to see that. Geno Stone with another pick, becoming an opportunist and gaining more confidence in that secondary, which I think is the most important part. And when we do get guys like a Marcus Williams back, and we do get guys like a Marlon Humphrey back, that's just going to, oh man, our depth is going to be good. Our depth is going to be okay. I mean, I like what I've seen from Ronald Darby. I like what I've seen from Rock Yassin so far. So I'm liking how we're looking at DB, man. I'm not gonna lie. Once we get healthy again, I'm liking how we look.
It's almost like what you said about 2 months ago came true about Marlon going down. Forced us.
Let's see.
Us to go out there and get some reinforcements.
Got another super chat donation. This one's coming from Asmodeus. Asmodeus again. We appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
Making it rain here with the 5-piece in the chat. It says, I don't know if you guys saw, Rat Piss is the new chant for the Browns, according to Roquan.
Yeah, he was on the Vault with Bobby and Sarah, fantastic podcast, and
nice,
he said that when he got, it was hostile. That's how AFC North games are. But as the game went on, he said that you could hear a rat piss. That's how quiet it was, and that's saying something. Roquan, was in the news for what he said in the press conference. Got taken out of context like crazy, but he backed it up. He was playing fast, physical, and relentless, and pissed off, like a former Ravens linebacker used to play. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Roquan in a different class of his own, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Best linebacker in the league, if you ask me. And then the best duo, Queen and Smith. I mean, that's just me. I may be biased because I'm a Ravens fan, but I really like those guys. They've been putting a good product on the field so far this season. Let's talk offensive line.
Oh, okay.
Offensive line. So we have Morgan Moses. I'll lead with that. Morgan Moses did leave the game. I can't remember exactly what was wrong with him. Do you remember what it was?
It was something in like his chest, I want to say. Yeah.
Okay. Drop it in the chat if you guys know for sure. But yeah, he left the game. Daniel Fa'alele came in his place and left a little bit to be desired, but kind of as expected. I think overall the offensive line did a pretty decent job. We're still missing Linderbaum, still missing Stanley. Once we get those guys back and we're at full strength.
We had Linderbaum yesterday. He played. Fantastic block.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Linderbaum did play. I was happy about that, too. I remember that. Yeah. So Linderbaum did play. Happy to have him back. But Ronnie Stanley as well. Definitely going to need that left tackle shirt up, especially going into some of these more difficult matchups later in the season. Hell, we're going to need him next week. Definitely need him next week. TJ Watt, Ty Smith. Yeah.
Garrett had some fun with us. I won't lie. And him getting banged up took him out. But
we, for the most part, we schemed away from Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
And when the seldom time that we did not scheme away from him, he did kind of show his, make his presence felt. So, definitely a good job from just overall. I think coaching yesterday was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty phenomenal, to be honest with you. Just overall a good performance, and we can't really ask for much more other than we get our guys back healthy, especially on that offensive line, and getting Linderbaum back is huge. Yeah, go ahead.
And keep the foot on the throat. I wanted more points. I wanted to embarrass.
Yes, come on.
I really wanted to.
Score.
I don't know what Harbaugh, like. This is not me being a Harbaugh hater because I've actually come around to him recently, but the Harbaugh a couple years ago, 19, 20, blowing out teams. 38-6 with no fans there, week 1, 2020. I wanted more points yesterday. I wanted to put up over 30. I wanted to make it embarrassing for them.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can maybe keep that going as the game's going. But maybe we save our points for the playoffs this time. Who knows? Maybe that's what we're doing. Not sure.
Maybe. I'm of the school of thought, man. If you have the opportunity to put up more points, man. I mean, if anything, what it's going to do is just inject more confidence into your offense and carry that into the next week. because if you're coming off of a game where you won 38-3, it feels a little bit different from winning 28-3. Maybe not too much of a difference, but like 38-3, you really dominated in that game. More tape to look at, things like that, and you can really kind of improve upon the design that you put on the field for the offense. So that's just me. I agree with you. I think we should have put up some more points, kind of put the pedal to the metal on these guys. But yeah, I think the Ravens are kind of content with, like we said, getting an early lead, kind of leaning on them with the run game, and just letting it go that way. But
yeah,
a win is a win. Is a win is a win.
And not only is a win, but 50 likes is 50 likes. So good news.
Yes.
The kids will be eating tonight. They will be getting a nice 3-course meal.
Thanks to you guys. Thanks to you.
All because of you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. If you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and, like the video. And if you're new here and you're enjoying what you're listening to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well, because there's a lot more Ravens content coming where this is coming from. Okay. So, any other notes from yesterday's game you want to talk about, Alex?
No, you really hit on the head. Darby, I thought, played well. Stevens played well. I thought the PI really wasn't his fault. I thought Amari Cooper just stopped, and there was nothing Stevens could do for that. Kyle Van Noy looked pretty good his first game.
Yeah, had a deflection.
Being with the team.
Couple pressures.
I'm going to give a little bit of love to Brent Urban. It feels like every single week he has a pass batted at the line or he gets pressure. Yeah. I really can't say too much. I thought John Simpson played well. A better game from Kevin Zeitler as well, which we were talking about last week.
We did talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Zay Flowers is a playmaker.
Just overall a good game. And let me tell you this, Alex. I honestly think with the way that we played yesterday, it wouldn't have mattered who started at quarterback.
No. Nope. Don't get nope.
Yeah. And I may sound a little bit hypocritical because I actually picked the Browns on Thursday, but after watching that game, and hindsight's always 2020, we would have beat Deshaun Watson and company if he would have played for sure. Yeah. Gonna go ahead and leave that there. Let's bring up what you guys are saying here in the chat. Boz is saying he'll take Giro over Canada. Steelers fans going through it, man.
Would you take Randy Finkner over Matt Canada? Your old offensive coordinator.
Questions.
Marty Morningwig.
Let's see.
Mark Trestman.
Let's talk about the what Harbaugh said today in a presser.
Okay.
Right. So he came out today, said a couple things, gave a couple of updates on some guys' health status. The one that really stood out the most is about David Ojabo. He came out today and said, David Ojabo, he's going to have to make some decisions in terms of rehabbing. I think it's his ankle, I want to say. And basically that means that it could be season ending for David Ojabo because he might need surgery. And that's going to effectively end his 2023 campaign. So, Alex, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts because I've been seeing a lot on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time, and I see people starting a dialogue, right, about David Ojabo and Rashad Bateman and whether or not we should have drafted them and went with somebody else because these picks just don't seem to be panning out. I mean, David Ojabo is a guy who this will be his second season that's cut short due to getting hurt. And, we just don't need that, especially out of a second round pick. So what are your overall thoughts about the whole David Ojabo and I guess kind of the pass rush situation?
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's always 2020, unfortunately. I liked the pick at the time. I thought 45 was a steal for him when he was, a first-round talent. Sometimes things don't work out. I'm not giving up on him. The same way that I remember distinctly we didn't give up on a certain number 6 on this team. It does suck, though, that he did go down, but it's not his fault. I'm not thinking this guy, got hurt on purpose. The whole Ojabo versus Pickens thing, I get it, but at the same time, Pickens with Greg Roman last year probably would have caused a lot of drama. He's a very animated player. Would have liked to have him, but the past is the past. What's done is done. But the edge rush does scare me. And, I think we're gonna make a splash at the deadline. I think it would be Danielle Hunter. My dream is Brian Burns, but we definitely will be trading for an edge rusher.
Definitely. You think it's a foregone conclusion that we are going to trade for an edge rusher this season?
95%.
Okay. No, I mean, I like that. I like that. We've seen the Ravens kind of address needs midseason in the past. Linebacker last year with Roquan Smith, getting him in there, kind of shoring up the linebacking room, which it did. It worked. So I agree. I agree. No, yeah, I agree. I think that the Ravens will at some point this year make a move, some sort of splash to get a premier pass rusher in some sort, because that is really still just like it's the biggest hole on our defense, And had it not been for Jadeveon Clowney and now Kyle Van Noy, I don't know where we'd be when it comes to pass rush, And those are moves that we've made collectively in the past 45 days,
Yep.
right?
I mean,
the guys that we got in the past 45 days are standing up our edge rusher position, man. Like it is what it is. So we definitely need some help there. That is for sure. And I think that it will come by way of midseason trade or something like you said, because man, we need it. We need it
big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully he can maybe hit the IR, come back later in the season. Hopefully it's not serious, but we'll find out more.
Yeah.
That was mainly the big things. I mean, Morgan Moses, they said this shouldn't be a big deal. Fingers crossed. And actually, I want to give a shout out to Arthur Millette, number 10. He played pretty damn well yesterday. Had that pick that the tip that got Brandon Stevens interception, and also made a good play as well. So if only our edge depth plays as well as our secondary depth, we'll be in a good spot.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and bring up a couple more comments from you guys here down in the chat. So if you are watching live right now, thank you so much. Make sure you drop your comments, questions, concerns down below in the live chat. And if you're not watching live and you're part of the hashtag replay gangs, it's okay. You can still drop your comments, questions, concerns down below in the actual comment section, because we do look at those and we do reply to them as well. So don't think we don't, because we do. And that's both of us. Okay. Let's see. Lisa Ann says here, what's the deal on Kyle Fuller, guys? You know any news on Fuller?
Still a free agent.
Yeah. K-Dog saying here, PRP is sponsored by Manscaped. Yes. Code PRP for 20% off plus free international shipping if you want to go ahead and do some shopping on manscaped.com. We got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I guess kind of moving on from yesterday's game, again, just a great 28-3 victory over the Browns. And I think the most important thing that we didn't even really talk about, we're 2-0 in the division. This is going to bode well late in the season. Late in the season, when the going gets tough and the wins are getting more and more important from week to week, we're going to be able to look back at weeks 2 and weeks 4 and hopefully week 5, and be able to say like, hey, like we got the tiebreaker. You know what I mean? Or whatever the scenario may be. Exactly. They're on the road. Yeah. So the rest of the divisional games after the Steelers game is at home, at the Bank. Love it. Yeah.
I did forget to give a shout out to one more person yesterday. Jordan Stout. I don't know what he was doing yesterday.
That's every week, man.
This year he has looked a completely different punter. Don't know if he's been working out, with Sam Cookmore. Been pinning him, coffin corner. Was fantastic. Yeah. I would be remiss to not bring him up and let him, give him a shine, because he played a fantastic game. And that just the possession, like where it started possession, it helped us so much. So shout out to you, Jordan Stout. Thank you for doing your thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, can't speak enough about special teams at times. Last week, I know there was the blunder with Zay Flowers and not, whatever. But Jordan Stout is definitely one of the, I would say, unsung heroes on this roster. Ever since coming in, it's basically been a seamless transition from Sam Cook to Jordan Stout. Can't even really tell the difference. I think a lot of that has to do with Sam Cook, I guess, maybe mentoring Jordan Stout. I know he's probably been working with him, things like that. But yeah, no, I mean, he's had some really amazing punts so far, and I love the little celebration he does, like the little golf swing after he pins him deep. I love that. I love that, man. Yeah, so shout out to Jordan Stout. If he's listening, probably not, but we appreciate you, bro. We really do. Okay, let's go ahead and get into around the league. So other games that happened yesterday. Lots of interesting stuff.
Well, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but on Thursday night, I actually said that a Lions win and a Jerry Jacobs interception. This guy, he had 2 of them. I was running around my house like a proud father. I was so happy that the Lions, when he got his picks. But yeah, Lions beat the Packers. That made my heart warm. But yesterday, saw some AFC North other games.
AFC North. I mean, I guess we'll start with Steelers. Steelers getting just shallowed by the Texans on the road. I believe it was. It was, what was it, like 26 to 3? What was it?
30-6.
30-6. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I know Kenny Pickett went down in this one. I'm not exactly sure when he went down. But just to score no touchdowns at all, it's really, I would be concerned if I was a Steelers fan at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it seems like they are, and by they, I mean the Steelers organization, I don't know how close they are to being just done with Matt Canada and moving on from him. Because if you ask any Steelers fan, or 90% of Steelers fans in the world right now, they're going to tell you that Matt Canada is the number one, or public enemy number one, and he needs to go.
You see Boz. Yeah. You see what he says in the chat. You see his profile picture. 4th and 1, they go out in a shotgun. Kenny Pickett gets sacked. It is not a torn ACL. It is a bone bruise. All right, it's a bone bruise. He's gonna be out for a couple of weeks. It could be longer because that's what Lamar had in 2021. It knocked him out for like the last games of the season. It depends how serious his is, but yeah, they get their quarterback hurt. I just don't know what Matt Canada's offense is besides a whole bunch of jet sweeps and running, letting Najee run up the middle. That's really all I see with them.
And Najee had a good game.
Yeah, I don't get what they're looking for, but they need somebody different. And Mike Tomlin just had cut ties, let it go, and get something else because that's not working.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the name of the game. It's like, you should, or you get off the pot, right? Like, and it's Matt Canada really hasn't been doing it. And this league's not about being average. It's not about being mediocre. It's not about just going over 500, like the Steelers have been doing. It's about winning Super Bowls, like championships. And if you don't feel like your roster is in the position to do that, or your team is in the position to do that, then you have to make changes. And it seems like the most glaring need for change right now is at the offensive coordinator position. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
And seeing what, I see Ravens fans sometimes want John Harbaugh to get fired. I mean, Mike Tomlin past couple of years hasn't been, I know he got over 500, but is that winning you another Lombardi? No. The same way with the whole preseason stuff with Harbaugh, is you can kind of say is the Steelers are making the playoffs or going over 500. It's not winning you a trophy. And I can see why, fans are frustrated. So
yeah,
something's got to give. So, I mean, as a neutral looking at it, the Steelers are a much better team than what they are right now, and they need to fix it. Because Kenny Pickett shouldn't be getting sacked in 4th and 1. You have Najee Harris. You have Pickens who can win one-on-one battles. You have Allen Robinson, is a big body receiver. You have Freiermuth, I know was out, but I don't know, man. Steelers are much better.
Oh, Freiermuth was out?
Yeah, he was out.
Okay.
Which is why I won't take them lightly next week at all. Their defense is still nasty. And
I'm surprised they're not utilizing Darnell Washington more. I was really high on him this offseason. Where's he been at?
I don't know.
Let us know, Boz. I want to know.
And Jalen Warren, I thought, was going to be a breakout running back this year too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still think that Najee Harris can be the legitimate RB1 for them. He's come on strong the past couple of weeks, and I personally like Kenny Pickett as a quarterback. I like his skill set. I think it's going to take a little bit more time for him to develop into a true threat. But man, Mike Tomlin is the one that we have to kind of look at in this situation, because everybody likes to point the positive finger at him for, this guy always goes above 500, like we talked about. But again, like I said 2 minutes ago, this game is not about going over 500. It's not about being just average, bang average, as you like to say. It's about winning championships, Super Bowls. So I don't know, man. They need to make something shake in Pittsburgh sooner rather than later if they want any chance at saving this season.
Yeah. Thank you to all 71 people watching right now and the 58 likes. Just exceeding all of our expectations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Liking the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We'd appreciate that. Okay. Also, the Bengals get whooped by the Titans, right? on the road. That one was a little bit surprising because the Titans are another one of those teams where kind of lacking an identity this year. Just don't really know what to expect from them. But Derrick Henry had one of those Derrick Henry games, and the Bengals just couldn't stop it. I did not watch this game back yet. So I'd be interested to know how Joe Burrow looked in terms of like his calf. Was he moving around? Was he, how did he look? Did you see?
Wasn't moving around. There's a reason. Okay, number one, T. Higgins did hurt his ribs. Jamar Chase was frustrated after the game.
Oh I heard about that.
There's a reason why the Ravens traded a certain player, and there's a reason why the Chiefs let the certain player walk. And the certain player was playing with two mobile quarterbacks. And Joe Burrow is mobile; he can be mobile, but when you're not 100%, you can't really be as mobile. That's one Orlando Brown. He's not a left tackle. Okay, he's a right tackle. I know you want to play that for the money, and you got your money, but he got exposed yesterday. Even Bengals fans were like, why did we sign him? Why do we give him all this money? He did not look good, and Joe Burrow wasn't, didn't have protection. And that, unfortunately, is going to be their downfall. And if I'm a Bengals fan right now, it's like if my quarterback isn't 100%, we can't utilize our weapons. Our line isn't the best. Our defense really isn't that good. But I'm not going to be fooled because they've done this the past couple of years. They'll find it. They'll get it together. But right now, it's not looking the best.
Yeah, I mean I think the hope is that they'll get it together, and I know they did last year. But this year, I mean, it feels a little bit different. Early season frustrations coming from Jamar Chase is definitely not anything to scoff at. I mean, I think it was after the game. He's frustrated. The Bengals put up no touchdowns. Nobody else in the AFC North did besides the Ravens, but we know that, right? Another story for another day. Jamar Chase said to the reporter, he said something like, "Look, I'm always fucking open," or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's
crazy
exactly
stuff. Crazy stuff. I mean, just so sassy. You know what I mean? Like, just, and you see the meme. It's a meme already. If I'm Joe Burrow, because like if you're Jamar Chase actually, and you say that to a reporter, you're talking to Joe Burrow. Yep. Because it's just like, yeah, because like, hey, get me the ball. That's basically what you're saying. Like, I'm always open. Get me the football. Like that's all it is. And we know that wide receivers in the NFL have a long history of being quote unquote divas, things like that. And maybe Jamar Chase is kind of fitting that mold, but he needs to grow up and kind of break out of that because he knows his quarterback is going through it right now, and they keep trotting him out on that field. So he needs to grow up, and I feel like he probably realizes that too.
Yeah, the same way his rookie year, when he had the drops in the preseason.
Yeah. So he should know. Yeah.
Like now it's your quarterback. Need you to back him, and you guys are probably your top two quarterback receiving duo in the league, or top three.
Right.
I would put it. So yeah.
And by the way, since he dropped those balls in training camp in his rookie season, he's been to 2 AFC Championship games with Joe Burrow, a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow. So it's just like you got to stand up for your guy. You have to stand up for your guy. Like before you're talking about, oh, I'm always open. Like you should talk about like, oh yeah, my quarterback, he's not 100%, yada yada yada. Because he was saying some of those sort of things before the season started. Yeah. But now that they are, what's their record now? 1-3. 1-3. Yeah. Now he's like kind of starting to sound off a little bit. He needs to. Yeah, if I'm Jamar Chase, I'm gonna chill out. Yeah. Okay.
That was the AFC North.
Yes.
Well, what we said the game of the week was the Bills and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs is him. I'm sorry, he is him. 3 touchdowns. The Stone Cold Steve Austin celebration with the 2 beers. I absolutely love that. Josh Allen is playing at a high level. The best thing I think that happened to them was them losing the first week, which they've looked like a different animal since. I guess right now I think the 2 best teams in the AFC are the Ravens and the Bills. Now the Dolphins are 3.
No Chiefs?
Nope. They're not my top 3
We're
right
not
now.
putting Chiefs? Not even top 3?
I think they're 4th. Dude, the referees saved the Chiefs last night. I don't want to be that fan, but they did. That like and let me. Why is the NFL's bio? They're 2-0 when Taylor Swift is there.
You see, let's talk about that because I saw a lot of people getting upset about the whole Taylor Swift thing and all that, and how the NFL they're taking their social media accounts, changing the bio to fit the all that. But the NFL has kind of always done this, especially in the last couple of seasons. Like if one team or one player or something is at the forefront of attention, they're gonna put it in their bio. So you can go back to the Dolphins game last year when
right? Yeah, he did.
Puka Nacua, right? He got some love. But I'm talking about the Dolphins game last year when Tua had like 5 touchdowns or something like that, or maybe even more. I don't even know, but they said that they were calling them two touchdowns, and they had that on the NFL's bio on Instagram, bio on Twitter. It was pretty embarrassing, but it's just something that the social media team for the NFL does. But they are kind of going overboard with the Taylor thing. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying, like the holding the holding when on the 3rd and 22, that was definitely some questionable calls. But I mean, the Chiefs, like they were letting Zach Wilson, who by the way, I'm a Zach Wilson fan now. I love the way he played last night. It was absolutely balling out. Zach Wilson gave that defense help. So, I mean, they're obviously going to be contenders. I say it now. The AFC Championship will somehow be an Arrowhead, like it always is. But as of right now, Bills, Ravens, Dolphins are my top 3 teams in the AFC.
Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, top 3 teams. Yeah, I can get behind that. And just put Chiefs at a distant 4. Now, if the Chiefs had blew up the Jets last night, then we'd probably be having a slightly different conversations. But they didn't. They kind of let the Jets hang around in there. And me personally, for my parlay, all I needed was a Travis Kelce touchdown. Hell, I was rooting for the Swifties all night. I just needed a Travis Kelce touchdown. That's all I needed. Couldn't get it, but it's all good, But I agree with that though. I hadn't really put any thought into the top 3 teams in the AFC until just now, and the Ravens are definitely top 2, right behind the Bills, I would say for sure. And if we scored some more goddamn points, we could be number 1.
You can 1,000,000% make a case, 100%. But I mean, 28-3 is convincing, but
for sure,
Sean Watson was not there, and you gotta look. We beat the Texans and CJ Stroud week 1, but they look like a good team. That looks like a good win now, because if we play them now, that game is much closer. Stroud is looking like a damn good quarterback, looking like the best quarterback of the class right now, looking better than Bryce Young.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is. And man, no, you're right. I've been thinking about that a lot too. And 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, like 1,200 yards so far passing. Yep. Yeah, he's looking good. But so shout out to CJ Stroud.
Tanked down Robert Woods.
Right. Like, come on, man.
I'll give my credit what credit's due.
Doing more with less, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Texans. Good for them.
Yeah. Glad we already beat them this season. Already got that one out the way.
And who's your MVP right now? Since we're talking just straight ball.
This is
76 people watching, over 60 likes. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you guys so much for watching the show. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new. Who is the current NFL MVP right now? Drop it in the chat. Down below in the live chat, drop it in the comment section as well. Who is the current NFL MVP 4 weeks into the season? You brought up, Bills, Dolphins, Ravens. You could easily make a case for it could be Allen, Tua, or Lamar. Like, just like that. So, or, I mean, a lot of people are saying Christian McCaffrey. CMC is right there too. He's right there too. Now, the thing about McCaffrey is that since the MVP award is historically a quarterback's award, I think that you would really need to see the full body of work from a running back before actually considering him. If we're just going off of, what he's on pace to get, then sure. I mean, CMC's having a crazy year, but knowing the bias of the award, they're probably still going to give it to a quarterback. If Tua, continues to perform how he's performing, putting up 300 plus yards a game, excluding yesterday, obviously, but and then a couple touchdowns a game, then you might have to give it to Tua. If Lamar Jackson continues to have games like he had today, and he's having multiple rushing touchdowns and multiple passing touchdowns, and winning games, then you have to consider Lamar Jackson. And if Josh Allen and the Bills continue to blow teams out, you have to consider Josh Allen, all 3 of those guys, before you would consider a Christian McCaffrey for NFL MVP. Yeah.
And it sucks that it's like, if my pick is CMC right now, 4 weeks in, but it sucks that it's a quarterback's award. And we saw it with the Rookie of the Year. Like, Justin Jefferson broke every single receiving Rookie of the Year record. And Justin Herbert won it. We have Max saying Melvin Gordon MVP. I can get behind Melvin Gordon being MVP right there. But yeah, I mean, it definitely, like, there is no front runner, I think, but CMC definitely is making noise, which I like to see. And looking at the Niners, I mean, Brock Purdy, he was like, what, 23 for 24 at a point against the Raiders? I mean, against the Cardinals, I'm sorry. Spreading the ball around. Brandon Ayuk has looked like their best receiver, not Deebo Samuel, which is a really good problem to have. And George Kittle had 1 catch yesterday. I have him on fantasy, so that's how I really know. But they're just a great team. I think them and the Eagles, it's going to be a rematch again. And then it's going to be – I hope everybody's healthy because that game, I want to see it. 2 healthy teams go at each other because that would be an absolute just classic of a game.
Okay, guys, look, about 80 people watching live right now. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you like the video. Go ahead and drop your questions down below in the chat as well. It's about that time for questions. Go ahead and drop those down below in the chat. Let me go ahead and let me bring up this question. It looks like you got something you want to get off to us. But Yolanda says here, Lamar could certainly be a contender for MVP. He just needs to clean up the fumbles. Yeah, we didn't talk about the fumbles. Yeah, that's been going on. So what are your thoughts, Alex, on the fumbling situation?
Yeah, the one yesterday, a mishandled, I guess, handoff definitely has to be avoided because great teams turned that into 7. We got to get that cleaned up. I have faith that it will. Yeah, there's not too much else to say about that. I think they'll clean it up.
Yeah. Hopefully they do. That one yesterday, I can definitely say that was more on Lamar than it was on Justice Hill.
Yep.
When you're handing the ball off like that, it's supposed to be in the running back's belly. Put the ball in his belly. That was like in his high chest, damn near his face mask. Yeah, it's a recipe for dropping the ball, miscues, things like that. Let me see.
Did you
go ahead? Yeah, go ahead.
You see the Bears and Broncos game yesterday?
I saw it on Red Zone. So I was watching it on Red Zone, like bits and pieces, and I saw that it was like really close. The Broncos pulled it out late, and I know that had to be heartbreaking for the Bears.
They were up 28-7.
Yeah, I saw.
Justin Fields finally had a really good game, and then he had a fumble and a pick that just a fumble return for a touchdown. Bears can't catch a break, and it's funny because Bears fans wanted Roquan Smith out, Sam Mustipher out. Sam Mustipher last week was the #1 rated pass blocking center.
Yep.
And Roquan Smith, since they traded him, they are 0-13. He was the distraction. He was the cancer in the locker room.
Oh my God.
Because he won the contract and he held out. He gets his contract from the Ravens. He's absolutely turned this team into an elite defense. They are 0-13 without him. All I'm gonna say. But they fleeced us for a 2nd, a 5th, and AJ Klein. Oh, I wish every 2nd and 5th and AJ Klein was Roquan Smith. I really do.
Yeah. Bears fans are definitely in hell right now. They're in fandom hell. It sucks. Let's see here. Darius says, how about the Maryland sports teams, guys? I'm loving the Orioles ride to the postseason. Yeah. I went to Orioles game on Friday.
How was
it? It was cool. They lost. I think they were kind of coming off of the high of, clinching the division, and they're just kind of there. They weren't playing like a lot of the main guys. Like I was waiting to see like Gunnar Henderson play, guys like that, but didn't get to see him play. I think they benched him, which I get it. But I think the highlight of the game, there was like a streaker that hopped onto the field, right? And like like he was like taking ankles, like he actually like went around a couple times. It was really cool to see. Like he was catching guys with double moves and juking them out, like really just entertaining stuff, man. Probably the most entertaining thing about that game, to be honest, because the Orioles didn't have any scores. They didn't score at all. That was a little bit disappointing, but I had a good time though. I was celebrating my friend's birthday, who I also watched the game with yesterday. I watched the game with him yesterday too, so that was really cool. Tell me why yesterday, like after the Ravens win, right? I'm at my buddy's house and we go out in the backyard and we're tossing around the football, right? Tell me why we end up running like full on routes and like plays against each other. And like there's video evidence of me doing this too. Like I'll show you guys maybe on the next episode.
We need the video evidence.
I'll show you guys my lockdown cornerback skills on the next episode of PRP. But yeah, I ended up like injuring my toe and like my finger hurts now. Yeah, man. The I word.
Were you wearing a Raven shirt?
I was.
That's why.
I was wearing a Ravens shirt and got hurt playing football. Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy you went to the yard. I mean, Friday nights at Camden Yards, just like Vibe Central.
They were, yeah. It was definitely vibes.
Yeah, and you saw the City Connect. You saw Jim Palmer throw out the first pitch. I mean, legend. So that, fun times for you. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. The starters were most definitely hungover, celebrating winning the AL East for the first time since 2014, hitting over 100 wins since I think 1980 as well. So, and then also speaking of Maryland sports, Maryland football is 5-0, the first time in like 20 years.
Yeah,
big win over Indiana. I know they're not Maryland, but we talk about them. The Manders, that close to pulling out a real big win.
So close. Oh my
so
gosh,
close.
Man. I was
like,
rooting for him too.
I thought they were gonna go for 2. Like, they're a team that, like, what do you really have to lose? Because like the Eagles are gonna run away with the division at some point. Thought they were gonna do it, but they didn't.
Yeah. I definitely thought they should have went for 2 there as well. Yeah, I mean, just Eagle, like in overtime, you gotta know Eagles are probably gonna win that game. They're probably gonna take that one home, so just go for it. Go for it right there. And how much time was left by the time they scored that touchdown? Was time expiring? See,
Expired.
Yeah, they should have just went for it, man. Should have just went for
Give
it.
all the momentum.
Yeah, exactly. All or nothing. All or nothing. Oh, it'd have been funny if they would have. You know what? Well, no, that wouldn't have worked. Because where do they line you up at after you score if you're trying to go for a 2-point conversion?
The 2-yard line, I think. Oh, they use the touch push.
I was about to say, yeah, use the touch push.
Yep.
End it like that. Can you imagine? That'd be so hilarious. That'd be funny. Okay, we'll take maybe a couple more questions from you guys here. If any more, again, if you're not watching live and you have your own question, drop it below in the comment section. We got about 75 people watching live right now. So if you do have a question, go ahead and drop your question down below. We won't be afraid to answer it. It could be about Ravens. It could be about other teams in the NFL. It could be about other sports. It doesn't even have to be about sports. It could be about life. It could be about music, food, anything. But Boz saying here, like the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah.
Speaking of music, you saw the picture the Ravens posted last week of Lil Tecca with the Rashad Bateman jersey?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
I actually really like his new album. So that kind of like shocked me seeing that. Yeah, real good.
I haven't listened to any of Lil Tecca's music. I have to give it a shot. His latest album is good?
It is, yes. And the song with Kodak Black is my favorite.
So. Okay, he's got Kodak on it. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out for sure. Let me see. Lil Raven says, I don't want to get too hyped over the beatdown from yesterday, but damn, top safety and top corner out, and they still train wrecking teams. Yeah, looking good so far. Most hurt team in the AFC North, yet the best team in the AFC North at the same time.
Well, you can help here. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Let me see. Dwayne Hunter says, do y'all really like Monken's offense? So I see a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, the Ravens offense doesn't look any different than what it did last year with Greg Roman. So I mean, do you like the Monken offense so far and what you're seeing?
Well, we're 3-1, and we're scoring on 80% of our red zone, scoring touchdowns 80% of red zone.
Cheers to that.
Drives. I would definitely take that, and I see how people can. There's some things that look like it, but I just think with the Zay pass yesterday, we didn't really get that a lot. And like Monken, he has balls. That Nelson Aguilar incompletion. I think he ran the same play, but just the other side of the end zone, and it worked. But I would like us to be more aggressive in certain areas. Stop respecting these defenses. Fuck them. We have so much talent. Part of my language, especially when Bateman and Odell come back. We did that without our top 2 targets. Oh, 2 out of our top 3 targets because Zay Flowers, the way he's played, has been our best receiver.
Yeah,
and I'm still a Rashad Bateman truther. I really hope he lights it up because I hate seeing kind of disrespect going his way. But
yeah, I mean, and Todd Monken, I can say I like the offense so far. I don't love it because I want to see Todd Monken work in guys like Rashad Bateman as much as he's working in Zay Flowers. Because Zay Flowers, he'll get the ball 2-3 times in a row, back to back to back, on the same drive. And that's scheme, that's scheme. So I would like to see Rashad Bateman get schemed up some plays for him as well, because we've seen literally when he does, he can take it to the house, on a 10, 15 yard slant, or he can go deep and catch the ball and high point the ball over your DB. So I just don't know why we're not using that. The worst thing ever would be for him to go to a different team and for him to really like show out and shine. Like that would make me so mad. So I want to see something out of Rashad Bateman in the next coming weeks when he gets back on the football field.
100%.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll take this question here from Max. It says, will Tyus Bowser being back make a difference? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Tyus Bowser is one of those guys who is an unsung hero on this team. Doesn't really get talked about a whole lot in the media, but I've said this multiple times on the show. There's been multiple games where Tyus Bowser ended it for us on defense, whether that looked like a sack, just a clutch tackle, a pick, things like that. Like Tyus Bowser is that dude. He's kind of like, I said it last week on the show. I said that Kyle Van Noy is like just an older Tyus Bowser in a way, because they have a similar skill set. So yeah, Tyus Bowser will make a difference, just like Kyle Van Noy made a difference yesterday. I feel like when Bowser gets back, he's gonna make even more of a difference. Rehabbing that. What was his? What's wrong with him again? I forget.
I don't even know. I really don't even know what it is. It was
mystery.
definitely mystery. I word, the worst kind.
Yeah, gonna continue to monitor Bowser, but I think the news was that he would probably be able to start practicing sooner rather than later. I think that's what Harbaugh had said. So
and Keaton Mitchell.
And Keaton Mitchell too.
Everybody's favorite undrafted free agent, Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, that nobody knows about except for Ravens fans. Bowser has a bad knee. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and leave it there for the question segment and this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Still got 80 people watching live. Make sure you like the video before you get out of here. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and you enjoyed what you just listened to or you just watched. We appreciate that. You can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Episode 200 is right around the corner, guys. Right around the corner. We're going to be doing a giveaway of some sort, just to give you a little spoiler. So, yeah, make sure if you're not subscribed already to the channel, you have to subscribe in order to be eligible for the giveaway. Also, got to make sure you're following us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. You got to follow each of us on Twitter and Instagram as well. So, Twitter and Instagram for me is going to be at Sutton Def. And then Twitter for Simply is going to be at SimplyAS10. And on Instagram, it's going to be simplyas10.prod. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow us on all the socials. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And I want to throw this in there. I want to throw this in here before we get out of here. The Purple Rain parlay segment has been going crazy. Like if you pay attention, these bets have been hitting like very quietly. I think last week I put Gus Edwards over 47.5 yards. He had 48 yards.
Yep.
And I put the over on Mark Andrews receiving yards. He had 80 yards.
I tell you what, my parlay was a Luke Musgrave concussion, which didn't look like there was a video that came out. All right. I saw a couple of guys. They say Vegas made the call. I think they did. But if you take ours straight, like you're gonna win more times than not. Yeah. And I took a lot of mine straight because like the parlay is ruined. We've talked about this, but yeah. We've low key been cooking.
We've low key been cooking, yeah. So if you're into sports betting and you this is your first time listening or watching the show, again, thank you. But make sure you hit that subscribe button because we got a lot of good prop bets coming your way.
Matt Breida under tonight. All right, who said that?
I heard about that. Matt Breida under. I like that. I actually like the Kenneth Walker over tonight. Okay. I think his line was at like 64.5 yards. I would say take the over on that. I take the over.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, look, you don't got to take our advice, but just letting you know we've been hitting. So do with that what you will. And with that being said, thank you guys again so much for coming out to this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 197. We'll be back on Thursday for our preview episode of the Steelers matchup. That'll be episode 198. Again, getting very, very close to 200. So make sure you guys stay locked in, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you for coming through episode 197 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you for all the love that you were showing tonight. One of our best episodes in a while. Over an hour and 8 minutes long. Smashing the like goal, smashing the viewer goal, honestly. And we'll see you on Thursday. Love you all. Appreciate you all. And as always, stay positive. Test negative.
And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. This has been episode